And then I will ring the bell to end the meditation. I always think when we hear those sirens here, no, it's now I have coffee on my lap. Sirens in the city, that I always like think about the poor people. Somebody has a fire somewhere. Somebody just got in the accident. How like all these things can happen to all of us very quickly. I wouldn't like to be in that situation right there. What happened to those? Perhaps those people who had to call the ambulance, or why are the sirens going somewhere? So always try to reflect how lucky you are at here now, even though you have problems, but at least you're not the one who's in that going because of that. The sirens are going. Any questions or comments about? Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Ajahn.
Yeah.
For the right livelihood.
Yeah.
I understand what the Buddha taught is more than that.
Yes, I should have said more than that. It came to me even meditating. So what came to your mind?
Well, he taught that we should not. Well, for Buddhists, we should not be in the entertainment industry.
Right. Yes.
It's quite clear from his teaching. That, and he even said the consequence of that too.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's hard to. Is it really that clear? Like, yes, please tell the story about that. The actor or the singer.
No, he even went to the extent of saying to which level of hell that those people will go.
Yeah, just tell the story. It isn't a story about that.
Not unfortunately.
Are you talking about the actor or the singer?
I'm not so erudite about it. Yeah. I just learned the gist of the teaching.
Yeah.
That it should not be in the entertainment industry, and that if one were to do it the whole life, it will go to the perdition, to hell.
Yeah.
And he even mentioned to a specific hell.
Yeah.
Whereby the torturers will be donning those things.
Yeah, exactly.
And having a spot on him or her. Yeah. Well,
it is interesting. It is interesting.
Point which sutta. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I just thought maybe you can tell us the story. But the story goes something like that. There's an actor, for example, one story, and an actor goes to the Buddha and says, like, "Look, what's going to happen to me when I die?" And he's quite excited about it. And Buddha said, like, "Don't ask, don't ask, don't ask." And he said, "No. I'm sure you're going to go to this heaven of like actors' heaven. We're all going to be there, and it's going to be all fun and games and happiness, and there's going to be a heaven for us." And so, no, don't ask. And it's like, no, please tell us. Isn't it true where you're going to that heaven? And the Buddha said, no, it's actually going to hell, to this kind of hell where you're going to be tormented for a long time, and it's going to be this. It almost feels to me like a hell of like this kind of like you don't know what's true and false. It's this kind of like amusement park, which is sort of this kind of weird amusement park type of scenario. The Buddha explains it. It's just sort of like, what is happening here? That's what it feels like to that person. But I wonder if it's, but sometimes, again, the Buddha, perhaps it was reference to this one monk and, one person, and then the way he was, engaging in that trade or that situation. Could we also read it that way? That it was, or he was trying to snap him out of it? Like no, that's what you're doing. Or can we really read that all actors or singers or dancers are going to go into this kind of hell realms? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I honestly, believe it or not, I've been reflecting on this for a long, long time. Because I'm a layman.
Yeah.
Who knows? I may end up there, depending on my karma, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah. And I reflect. Most of the entertainment these days, at least these days, even in the past, is is mostly about violence, about sex, about indulgence, you know, because I've not watched, thanks to Ajahn, but I've not watched movies for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But when I just chance upon that for a while, happens chance, I can see how violent it is,
Yeah.
And so if the practitioner, if the person, in the actor were to do that for a long time, having those, because to be a good actor, one has to live the moment, right? Live into that emotion. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking as well as an actor, that you would be sort of like losing your personality into this kind of like, you don't really know who are you anymore. You acted in this kind of different kind of roles. So it's almost like the reality feels like you're like schizophrenic reality where you end up after death. In that sense, you could perhaps think about it. That's like,
and many times the violence, the speed.
Yeah, an interesting thing also. The Buddha said, somebody asked about dancing, and the Buddha said, like, dancing is like what crazy people do. It's like craziness.
Yeah.
We're not very happiness. A lot of happiness there. What was? Oh, about right livelihood. What came to my mind? I like this idea of right livelihood. That the Buddha said that right livelihood depends on other factors in Eightfold Path, actually. That whatever you engage in, it's what you're coming from. It's like, let's say you have whatever livelihood you have, you do it with honesty. And you put your best effort into it. So these other factors are part of what makes right livelihood. So you're a bus driver. You do the best of your ability to drive the bus and take care of it. You don't trash the bus because you just got into bad mood. You're honest. You just like do your job, and that makes right livelihood also. It's not like I just restrain from not dealing with intoxicants and it's, oh, that's right livelihood. No, right livelihood, you make it into right livelihood. Like I said, there's no black and white which is right and which is wrong, but you make your livelihood right. You're in UWA and you do the best of your ability to teach when you're teaching, and you engage with others correctly, and you do the hours instead of like, because you're getting paid for that. So that makes your livelihood right livelihood as well. Prem.
Ajahn, I believe right livelihood is one of them which one has less control to practice than the other 7 factors. If you are born in the wrong place, where the only livelihood is, say, fishing or hunting. I mean, hunting is less common now.
Yeah.
If it is an island or coastal areas of some countries, and you may not have enough education to, seek engagement anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, however kind you are, your only job is going fishing.
Yeah.
So it's out of your control to get out of that loop, isn't it? So is there anything to do with the karma
I mean, we have heard stories about people from Sri Lanka, for example, where they were fishers before, and then they, instead of engaging with the fishing activities, they become sellers of the fish, and maybe they are moving from the act of killing the fish, and then or making the nets or making the boats or something. But but what about these people who didn't come across and nobody told them, like, look, this is not good?
That's right, yes.
If you think about kamma, like let's say hunting or killing animals, you're the one who slaughters them. Do you think you don't feel bad about it, no matter what, like however you justify it? That is like, or you never came across Dhamma, but you were just sort of doing it because that was inherited from your father, and you're the slaughter person. I think you still don't feel really good about it.
I'm sure they don't, but they have no choice if they have to.
Yeah,
make
there's
a living,
no choice.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is complicated. and like I said, we cannot really live outside of the history if you get born in a certain time. And then there is insurgency in your country, and everybody's up in arms, and you are a young, 18-year-old man, and they come and here's your gun, we're all going. Are you going to be the one who said, nah? It's when I was 17, 18, I would not have said no. I would have just like, the whole society is moving that direction, my family is telling me this way. I don't think I would have had that come behind me to stop it. But who knows, maybe I would have come to my senses. But so that's why, in that sense, there is this kind of thing, like, it feels dangerous for me. The rebirth process, it's dangerous.
Yes,
We're lucky here now. Conrad, who was here yesterday, or when was it, he said he's afraid of hell. It's a proper fear. I mean, not like a deep fear, but it worries him. And he's like, and I was like, I don't think you're going to hell. But he said, well, what about, it was like, what about all the past actions? And I said, you're right. There is such a karma from the past that which you haven't, perhaps unresolved karma, and then it ripens, and you are going to hell. You're getting into this kind of violent situation. So that's why rebirth is dangerous, inherently dangerous thing. You're bound to get into, bad places. So get out of here as fast as you can.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But the nice thing is, like, we should, again, comes from Ajahn Brahm, concentrate on the good things. Really, that's what we should see. Yes, question.
Thanks for your talk so far. This morning I listened to your morning talk in bed. I woke up late, but there was one question I had. You were speaking of right speech, right intention, about if your motive comes from fear, it's best not to speak to that person or something.
Yeah, careful with that motivation as well. Careful with the motive, that something motivates. It's not just speech, but motivations of, where you're coming from in acting, body, speech, and mind. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was just wondering, in a situation, say, where you have to speak to that person, like a boss, a housemate, something where the right action is to speak to them, how do you turn your motivation from fear to, if you're scared of them, or if you feel hostile?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is that now you already recognize that. You think it's like, and you recognize that, okay, I'm afraid of these situations, and like whether it's a boss or housemate, and it's like, I don't want, and then he's like, oh, you already recognize the motivation, you're 80% there. Just by recognizing, it's like, wow, good. Now I know I have it, and I have to do it now. I'm going to do it anyway, so I cannot escape the fear. I'm just going to keep doing it. But the good thing about you recognizing it now, you are going to start resolving it no matter what. No matter what I tell you now, you will already start you have started working on it already. So you resolve to sort of like, okay, can I wait, and can I do something else? Can I contemplate, for example, while this person doesn't, even there's like, they are acting in a way that they want to intimidate me, they will have to bear these consequences. They will at some point when they cannot escape that karma, for example. So that's one way of contemplating it. When they will die, they will feel those things that when they spoke to you and they were, making you afraid, and you think it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. They don't think about it. They cannot escape that way of like feeling, because they feel how you felt. So that starts, the compassion arises. You was like, oh, they will know exactly how I'm feeling it now. So then it was like, okay, well, maybe I don't want him to feel this fear, so I need to resolve it, just because of his sake now. So you changed it a little bit. So there's a one way, One way is we talked about earlier. For me, sometimes it's easier just to drop it a little bit. Don't engage with it too much. Just sort of like, yeah, I have the fear, but I'm just gonna go and talk to him, and just go there. Just keep thinking about how I feel about my body, and then when I'm there, okay, then I start speaking. So you don't sort of like think about it too much beforehand. So there's many ways, but like I said, you already, by recognizing, you have a lot of means of knowing what to do about it. Yes.
I was just thinking, once Ajahn Brahm gave a talk about being in hell, and that the quickest way to get out of hell, your exit is to be kind. So if you're in a torture line, offer to go jump the queue. So you're the first one in line, and then instantly you're out of that paranoid condition.
Yeah.
So kindness is the way forward.
And that's another thing. Is like, and I was thinking actually later on when it was said about being afraid of going to hell. The thing is, like, you're already making so much of that kind of effort here. It was like naturally, you're just the kindness. It's coming to you, coming across the Dhamma and engaging or being in a Buddhist society and all that. All of these things get brainwashed into us. So you end up in hell, and you're like, I don't belong here. Bam, you're out of there. Just that one act of, it's like, I don't need to punish myself. I'm all right. You're out of there. Straight away. That's what happens. It's not like, it's because you yourself condemned yourself there. So like doing a lot of good, like it's a tremendous amount of goodness you've done. So we need to now concentrate on that. But yes, go first in the queue. It's like, we're going to kill everybody. You're like, me first, me. And everybody's like, what? Get him out of here. Okay, yes.
Yeah, Ajahn. So again, back to right livelihood.
Yeah.
It's a big thing, for lay people.
Yeah.
It's not my livelihood, but I'm just thinking of, because, as lay Buddhists, sometimes we share, right? We share about Buddhism, for lay householders. For vet. Yeah.
The vet?
Yeah, the veterinary, the vet.
Vet.
Animal doctor.
Vet. Yeah.
So of course you are not talking about those that's too cowling for the the animal industry and so on. I'm not talking about those clear-cut things. But for say neighborhood vets, right? I mean treating very nicely the pets, the beloved pets and so on.
Yeah.
But and I do come across that myself. There will come a day, the cat has diabetes.
Yeah.
And then the owner asks it to be put down. Yeah. Of course, I from my standpoint, the way I learn it is, no, it's not about what the owner say. It's a vet, you have to judge. It's not because I do it for you.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of the problem.
Yeah.
But even so, and then we say, then for the check if it's good for the animal, is it going to more suffering? And if it's really more suffering and more suffering out there, perhaps it's okay to with loving kindness to end his life nicely, in the gentlest possible manner.
Yeah.
But is that good enough? Or is that still breaking the first precept?
Is a vet breaking the precept by terminating a life? I know vets which have stopped being vets. I know at least three I think I've come across where they just said they can't do it anymore. So it is, again, how do you feel about it? It's like what, and I did think about my niece. We were just talking with my little nieces, and she's now 8 or 9 or something, and then mom was telling us like, oh yeah, she wants to be a vet. She loves animals.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was thinking, it was like, I hope you're not going to be a vet.
I was doing that gentle persuasion between Buddhists. It is. Is it a breaking of the precept of killing when you
euthanizing animal. I'm leaning towards that it is. It's just sort of like it's not the worst kind of killing, but it's because the animal cannot give the consent. That's a difference between the assisted suicide. Is the person is actually has that option in their hands that you don't, they suicide. It's not if the the vet. We should put the vet there. It's like, oh, you need to push this button, and the dog was just go like. It just doesn't work like that. So we're doing it for them. I think it's getting very close to that, and like. Yeah, but again, I mean, you're doing good and bad. I mean, and it's not bad to to terminate vet because they're sick. You're getting them out of the misery, so to speak, and then. But most of the time, you're coming from a place of kindness. You try to help them. And I've heard Ajahn Mudito said one time, for example, so like what happens, you're walking and you notice that you stepped on a bug.
Yeah.
And it's almost dead. What should you do? Let the bug be in agony? And Ajahn Mudito said, just end it. And I'm like, I can't bring myself to do that. I just, as a monk, when I step on a bug, I'm just like, I just ask forgiveness and I just continue. I can't put myself to put them out of the misery. But that's what Bhante Suchata said to one lay person said that one time, just from what I remember. So again, there's no...
Honestly, as a layman, I mean, fortunately for the last few years, I have not encountered that, but when I unintentionally did that.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is this is bad. I don't know. I just quickly finish it off.
And I was always taught that as the compassionate things, like as being coming from a family of hunters and fishers, and I was always told to end the misery. I was always told that. So if there's an animal which is hurt, and like let's say a big animal in Finland, you hit a reindeer or deer or a moose, and they are just heaving there, and the blood coming out of their mouth, and there's no way, these are wild animals. So the best way it would be to shoot it. That's what I was always told. And it's sort of, again, life is nothing is clear cut, but I can see that would be just sort of like, okay, I'm sorry, it's better for you to go. We can have a million opinions and different kind of scenarios about these things, but I could see that you could sort of lean towards that. It's like, okay, the cat has a cancer and a diabetes and the kidneys are failing. Okay, well, you take it to the vet and just like this, if the vet says like this is the wisest thing, is like, okay, you as a vet, you have know how these things go, so I don't think the vet is really committing that much bad karma.
But still not ideal. Finally.
Life is not ideal. We talked about a little bit about the sexuality. There is no idea. It's hard. It's easy to be idealistic, and like many religions try to be idealistic about sexuality, for example. And then for us, we just sort of like, there's no ideal situations here. We all know how it is. Life is difficult. Anything else coming? We're coming into the mindfulness part. How long do we go? I think we still have one more session left after this meditation. And do we? What time do you end? 2 or 2:30?
2:30.
Okay, here we go. Right mindfulness. Wake up. 2:30. We go until.
Bill will be here with you, Ajahn.
Yeah. No. I'll try to talk, and I will try to appear mindfully energetic. I'm teaching, after all, very nice people, and you want to hear this, so I was like, I motivate myself. Right mindfulness, the 7th part of the Eightfold Path. This is what people call meditation. This is where the meditation lies. This is what most meditation teachers teach, and when they talk about mindfulness. There's all kind of mindfulnesses these days. You can be mindful of eating, mindful, I don't know what they do, running, mindful killing in the military. But is that right mindfulness? What should you be mindful of? The 4 focuses of mindfulness. The 4 focuses of mindfulness lead to one direction only, to the purification of beings, to going beyond sadness and crying, to the disappearance of physical and mental suffering, for attainment or true way, for the realization of Nibbana. What are these 4? Having restrained the 5 hindrances, you abide aware of the body, energized, knowing the purpose of what you are doing, and mindful. Having restrained the 5 hindrances, you abide aware of the experience, energized, knowing the purpose of what you're doing, and mindful. Having restrained the 5 hindrances, you abide aware of the mind, energized, knowing the purpose of what you're doing, and mindful. Having restrained the 5 hindrances, you abide aware of the mind objects, dhammas, energized, knowing the purpose of what you're doing, and mindful. Sounds complicated, doesn't it? It is complicated. So basically, mindfulness practices. You are starting to know, you can be mindful of the body, for example. We're doing mindfulness practices of the body, but really to know what the body is, you had to be restrained of hindrances, something which hinders your mind. You can think about the mind is like gold, what you refine the gold all day, and it's like beautiful, shiny gold. And then the mindfulness is strong. These are the hindrances, like if you think about lustful objects all the time, that your mind is all the time thinking about that, thinking about that, thinking about it. You don't really have awareness of your body. You don't know what you're doing. You do experience, for example. But all of these things is what the Buddha taught. And we think it's like, body must be meaning you're aware of the body. We do body scanning, for example, before the meditation. But what is the body the Buddha was talking about? And how are you mindful of the body? Mindfulness of breathing. Hang on, that can't be right. How does mindfulness of breathing come after mindfulness of the body? Well, let's see what the Buddha says. Mindfulness and how are you mindful of the body? Mindfulness of breathing. You go to a secluded place. You sit down comfortably and give priority to establish mindfulness. Then, mindful you breathe in, mindful you breathe out. When the in-breath and out-breath are long, you know they're long. When the in-breath and out-breath are short, you know they are short. Then you learn to experience the whole breath as you breathe in and out. Then you learn to calm the breath, kaya sankara, as you breathe in and out. Such as a skilled painter is aware whether they're making long brushstrokes or short brushstrokes. So too, when the in-breath is long, you're aware that it's long. In the same way, you're aware of your own body, or you're aware that the bodies of others are the same nature as yours. Or you abide aware of the nature of both of your own and others' bodies. Or you abide aware what causes arising of this body, the 4 nutriments. Or you abide and aware that the body will cease when the 4 nutriments cease. Or you abide to contemplate the body's causal nature of both arising and ceasing. Or else, wow, you have to do a lot. Or else mindfulness that the body, this is just the body. This is impermanent suffering and not me, not mine, and not permanent essence, is established in you to the extent necessary for the mindfulness of wisdom, essential for liberation. And you abide independent, not clinging to anything in the world. That is one way that you are mindful of the body. So, the mindfulness of the body, the breathing goes in the category of the body mindfulnesses. So it is part of the body, so to speak. And then this, when you and Ajahn Brahm's translation there, give priority to establishing mindfulness. And if you look at it, the Pali there, it means like it's like in front of you. And then it's like, wow, where in front of my nose? Is that where you put the priority? This is where how you do the mindfulness of breathing? No, don't look at it that way. Wherever the breath appears, however it appears, you just sort of like, I rest with the breath. And if it doesn't work, I usually keep trying to tell people, look, just whatever your object is, that's who you are at that moment. So just try to have awareness of that wherever the mind is. You be with that. Just, first of all, you sit down. What did it say? Hang on. Okay, we lost it. You sit down comfortably. Make sure your comfort is good enough. Then you just sort of like calm the body enough. Then you start being aware, this is where my mind goes. You just sort of allow it to go wherever it goes. That is your object. Don't force it. The breath will appear from these kind of non-forcefulness places. So when you're on secluded place, sit comfortably, and you're giving priority to establishing mindfulness. We don't just sit there and like, okay, I'm just going to dream about girls, boys, Chinese drama. I'm going to dream about, I don't know, what do you dream about? Something along those lines. You're just going to be there, and this is what my meditation is. My meditation is about daydreaming. Well, that is sort of wasting your time a little bit. Most of the time, it's fine. But once in a while, you're like, okay, well, I try to bring the mindfulness a little bit back. It's like, what am I doing here? It's always, what's the point of this? And then you start having the awareness back into that sort of this place, here and now, more or less. Then hopefully from this, when you start, the calmness starts happening. You don't think about, you don't engage so much with that thinking mind. Ajahn Brahm always says, you didn't give that thinking mind so much attention. You allow it to subside. Don't fight with your own mind. You're going to lose. Who's going to be smarter than you? Nobody, not even yourself. Allow things to fade away. Whatever it is, don't engage with it. Your mind wants to go there. Don't just sort of hold on to it. I should not be thinking about this. You're picking up a fight with yourself. It's not going to work. So trying to have this kind of like, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm meditating. Right. It's going to be only 15 minutes. Don't set up too lofty goals. 15 minutes, I can do this. I can just relax here. I can allow the mind to just calm down. Then mindful, you breathe in, and mindful, you breathe out. But when the Buddha says that you're breathing out long and breathing out short, experience the breath as experience the whole breath as you breathe out. I've heard sometime Ajahn Brahm said that the breathing out long and short is just you just give it more interest. This is what the Buddha said, to make it interesting. But look, if it doesn't work for you, and you're just like, well, is it long or short? I don't know. Medium breath. Now it's short. Now it disappeared. It's just making it, what the Buddha was saying there is just like, as far as Ajahn Brahm says, that then it's like he was trying to tell you, be mindful, like give it interest. Give interest to the breath. I was like, okay, how does it appear now? Like, that's why the Buddha was like, look at it, and then just sort of, when you're interested in it, you stay with the object. But you don't need to really categorize exactly whether it's short or long. This is not exact science. The Buddha wouldn't tell us like, follow this method, and this is the only method, and this is how you do it. A lot of places they teach that way. I don't think it's correct. Then you learn to calm the breath, kaya sankara, as you breathe in and out. Why did the Ajahn Brahm put the Pali word there? I think the reason there is that you can see the word kaya. It doesn't say rupa. Kaya and rupa are synonyms. Kaya means this kind of breath. It means it means the body. Kaya is, like this kind of corporal. It's like made out of something, kaya. But it's like the breath, the whole body of the breath. Sankara is the will, right? It's sort of like, in that sense, it's like you're calming that the breath starts calming down by not you doing it, but you're calming the will, so to speak. And then the breath calms down. It's not, you don't like slow down the breath. No, everybody would understand that. You don't meditate by like breathing in. No, it's not. Everybody would know that. What we're calming is that willing part. You calm is like, oh, I'm not engaging with my will. I'm not sort of making choices here too much. It's just allowing it to be. And then when the mind starts calming down, the breath starts calming down. Calm down, calm down. Again, you don't really do too much, or really at all anything. You just don't engage with it. Don't start doing something. And the breath starts calming down. The kayas, this kind of like willing formations, the breath, the mind is calming down. Therefore, the breath is calming down. And then it's like, with these things, with the mindful that is just the body and all that, the mind tends to think about all these things. Then even the breath, we have to think about it as a body. We think about it, it does not belong to me. It's not mine, it's not something, it's like there's an essence there. It is just a body, it's impermanent suffering, and not me, not mine, and permanent essence. But then I'm sure the body will continue. 4 postures. So it doesn't have to be just breath meditation, but the breath is part of the meditation of the body, so to speak. It's within the body. Is that a way to say? I think you can say that. The 4 postures are 4 different ways of meditating. When walking, you're aware in the present that I'm walking. When standing, sitting, or lying down, you're aware in the present that I'm lying down. Thus you maintain a present moment awareness of however your body is disposed. So whatever like I said, you can just meditation. Like you're lying in the bed, you're thinking. I'm lying down. I just feel what the body feels like. This is how it feels like. And you get a tiniest little calmness. There's a little bit of freedom there on those moments. Walking down the same. In your head, I'm in my head all the time. Problems. Hang on, I don't need to engage with it. I just think about the body. And obviously when you're doing this like walking meditation, you're on a retreat or you have a place where you can go walk back and forth, don't engage with the outside of the world too much. You're engaging with the world of your body, and you just look few feet, like half a meter ahead of you rather. Look down, don't look here and there. You're just looking one pointed, and you're walking, you're paying attention that body walking. You don't need to be sort of like walking super slow or doing some kind of other type of, you are sort of feeling what the body feels like. And then it's almost like this, even with these, you're in this way you're aware of your body, or you're aware that the bodies of others are the same nature of yours, or you're aware of both of your own and others' bodies. That is another way of you are mindful of the body. I feel again that this kind of awareness is quite natural, at least for me. You start being mindful of your body, and naturally you start understanding that the other people's bodies, other people's minds, for example, the same way. Now we're talking about body, but they are the same. There is no really difference between you and your body. So there is this kind of, it's just, I feel this very natural thing that comes to mind. I don't think this is really like a contemplation, so to speak. I feel that. Somebody should ask Ajahn Brahm, but I never really thought about it too much, or I don't remember now what he says, but I feel that. Full comprehension of the purpose. You act in full comprehension of purpose when going forward and returning. You act in full comprehension of purpose when looking ahead and looking away, when flexing and extending your limbs, when wearing your clothes and carrying things. You act in full comprehension of the purpose regarding eating, drinking, defecating, urinating, walking, standing, sitting, sleeping, being awake, talking, and keeping silent. In this way, you are aware of your body, or you are aware of the bodies of the others are the same nature of yours. Or you abide in aware of both your own and others' bodies. There's another way you are mindful of your body. Look, people think, oh, I just meditate. I'm just doing mindfulness practices. There's all kind of practices the Buddha even here is saying that you can do. But really, the idea here is, though, the key aspect here, what you have to remember, full comprehension. Why are you doing things? Why are you eating? You have a full comprehension of regarding eating. I'm eating because I want to keep my body healthy. I'm eating just to maintain my body. This is good for my body. This is why I eat certain things. I'm not eating just to have more experiences of the world, to indulge. But I don't also eat to punish my body. I'm sleeping, but I'm sleeping enough, but I'm not sleeping to escape the world. Escaping the world would be like, you have depression. What do you want to do? I just want to sleep, so I forget anything. You keep sleeping. That's not why you should be sleeping. Or being awake, you need to sleep once in a while. So but don't try to be awake. Overtly be awake. That in a sense that you don't sleep enough. Talking, keeping silent, all of these, the full comprehension is there, the key thing. So the full comprehension of listening, teaching, and understanding is to understand why are we doing these things. Okay, 1:30, last break. 10-minute meditation before the last session.
Ajahn, can I just check? Is someone taking you back to the monastery after this?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to stay with you.
Yeah, okay, all right. We'll make sure we make your bed.
This will go on and on and on.
Because Sompop is not here.
No,
so, yeah?
I'm sure
Okay.
the monastery has arranged it. I hope. I think the monastery has organized it.
You sure?
Not sure, but I think. Yeah. Either that or stay here. Well, it'll be fine. Anyways, let's take a break. Now that you've been resting for a while, can you mindfully breathe in and out, just to put your attention to the breath for a little while? Give your breath priority in your life. With breathing in and out, can you see whether the breath appears short or long? Can you see how difficult it is actually to say whether it's short or long? Can you see that this breath is not yours? Or can you see that this bodily formations, what the breath is calming down, are not yours either? The body is just there, breathing. It's not your body. It's just a breathing body, organism. Now again, on the last time, this Christmas series, breathe in and out 3 times by looking kindly at your breath, or the breath which doesn't belong to you. Breathe in and out 3 times, and that ends the meditation. It's the end of the last meditation. And then we have the last comments, questions session. Yes.
So, Ajahn, this, as you said, this is the last chance for me to ask questions.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's easy. So, it's heartening to see this and recalibrate annually, for me.
Yeah, recalibrate annually.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm an engineer, right? So, need to recalibrate. Yeah. Just to make sure I maintain the sharpness of my learning.
Right, yes.
Yes. It's heartening to see this is in the category of mindfulness in Sammasati, you know.
Yeah.
I said that I practice until the 6th, but actually it's heartening to say, yes, I do this.
Yeah.
But just to make sure, yeah, indeed I do this. The four postures, right?
Yeah.
I suppose there's nothing sacred about walking per se, or sitting per se, or sleeping, or whatever. Yeah.
It's not sleeping; it's lying down.
Yeah.
It's hard to be aware of your sleeping.
I mean, looking at that, you say, you know, you're mindful when you're walking. So
Yeah.
suppose I run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I run, it's solitary. Yeah. I look no further. You know, it's a 35-minute affair. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm fully in the zone. Yeah. And which I have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm there. You know. And I swim, right? And again, it's solitary. Yeah. And I need to be in the zone as well in order to swim. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to swim continuously. Yeah. So is that in that category?
My opinion, it is that it is that the same thing. However, Ajahn Brahm says it's not. And Ajahn Brahmali says that they talk about four bodily postures. It doesn't mean that it means meditation postures. That's what Ajahn Brahmali says. So again, there's all kind of different opinions. Like, but my opinion, yes, if you have this kind of activity like running or swimming, where it's continuous and you're doing it and you are fully engaged with it, I think has that calming effect of the mind. Being a long distance runner myself, I know that feeling of where the body almost feels like it's a machine. It just goes. It's like you're really not doing anything. You're just looking, and you just even the pulse just keeps the same, and you're just on that zone. You're just running, and so, but why does Ajahn Brahm say it's not? I think maybe because people ask about that. Is this, you know? Because I get into the zone. That's one of those questions which people ask quite often. Is that the same thing? But it's not what the Buddha is teaching here. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you're taking care of your body, and it's a calming effect. So whether it's exactly what fits here, it doesn't matter really. I mean, so you're taking care of your body. It's a wholesome thing to do. You have this kind of, and it's a nice activity. You enjoy it, and you so whether it fits here, who cares?
Yeah, and it's like you have, and for it to be fair, you look no further.
Yeah.
You don't scan around. You don't muck around. You don't chit chat. You're there, right?
Yeah.
You're alone.
I mean, it's interesting. People think it's like some people who are not runners, they think it's like a horrible activity, but running when you're in a good shape, it's a really nice thing to do. I used to love to run in the rain, and you just get that, like the water is just coming down.
I'm not that hardcore.
I was pretty hardcore.
But I know the reason why I said I practice under is because I know Ajahn Brahm has a very high standard. And I know when he say he walking meditation, I know what he means. It is really the whole world shut off. I know that. Yeah.
Perhaps that's what it is. The whole world. I talked to one monk I know, and he said that when he goes to alms run, he's in Bangkok, and he said he starts paying attention to his feet, and he said he sort of starts counting the steps, and he said after 1,000 steps, he said he's in that mindful zone and he doesn't feel like he's walking anymore. He's just floating along there. So perhaps, yes, perhaps the standards we set here, what the Buddha was teaching, are higher than just being in that zone when you're walking or swimming. But I think it's just sort of you're going towards that place and you're engaging in a worldly activity, which is it's good. Whether it fits in this category, perhaps not.
Yeah. That's why I say that I'm just doing my right effort, by sitting.
Yeah, and then walking meditation is that you really know when you're walking, you know the purpose of it, and you get into this kind of really in the zone, you know all the movements. It feels like the same with the breath meditation. You are not just sitting there and just daydreaming this and that. Again, I mean, the standards are very high, and most of the time we don't actually even fulfill the standards, even with the sitting meditation. Yeah. Quite often, even breath meditation is it's either forced or you're not engaged with the breath at all. Yeah. So you're forcing the mind into the breath. You're forcing it into the breath, and there is not this kind of at easeness with that breath meditation. Or you just daydreaming, basically. Yeah.
And the way when I check in with Ajahn Brahmali, I mean, after learning from Ajahn Brahm, he told me, just forget about breath meditation. Just sit, because he said because he told me. I mean, exactly. It only comes when the whole universe is just a breath. Then it starts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm abandoned.
Yeah, exactly. That is actually the breath meditation. Yeah. People think that is like, I bring my attention to the breath. I bring my attention to the breath. No, that's not breath meditation. Honestly, it's not. I mean, it's been taught wrong way in many places. People don't know what it is. Breath meditation the proper breath meditation is that you're sitting there, that the whole world is the breath. There is no holding on to it. It's just breath. It is breath. It's there and it's interesting. It is not like I hold it. It's just really interesting. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Last chances. Take your chance. We can have a little discussion after ends, but I'm no way I'm going to go through even the last part, because I know the seventh factor here is really, really long. But does anybody have anything else to add? But again, the idea is there. Really, Ajahn Brahm always hones into it. Is that you know the purpose why you're doing things. I mean, sure, perhaps you're not fully in. The breath you've not fully engaged with the breath and nothing else, or you're not fully engaged with that walking meditation. But that at least you know the purpose. I was like, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm meditating. Okay, right. Well, I do this now, and I don't just reach onto my phone every time something interesting happens. Purpose is I'm just sitting here. I'm relaxing. Bodily parts, one of the things we don't teach so often in many places, and it's one of the practices which is there's different ways of engaging with the body, but it's nice to see the body for what it is. And you can see, you view your body as from head to toe, bounded by skin, made out of many kinds of parts. It's made out of blood, bones, tissues, and organs. Just as though they were a full shopping bag with many kinds of groceries, such as bread, potatoes, fruit, and vegetables. So too, you review this body as full of many parts. Thus, in this body there are hairs, bones, excrement, urine. That is another way you are mindful of the body. So you see the body parts as just sort of like way self, and don't get too excited about your body. You're like, oh, I still have it. I know I'm getting old, but I still look good. Hang on. Review your body a little bit. Don't get too excited, because you get excited about your own body, then you see the other bodies are exciting because of that. So we are trying to lessening the impact of the five sense world. So like all of these, like the Eightfold Path is leading us away from the samsara, right? What bounces us back is seeing this kind of like beauty, and it was like the thirst arises for this world. So we are, and again, what would the keeping the five precepts help with this? All of those things. So there's all these, but in this way, I like how the Ajahn Brahm has put it there, that it doesn't go over into this kind of overtly ugly parts of the body, but he's sort of like this is from the sutras, but it's Ajahn Brahm's translation here, and he puts it in the nice modern context, and it doesn't harp over too long about the ugliness of the body, because it's easy to go and start looking the body as very, very ugly, but it's sort of, we try to neutralize the body a little bit. It's just a body. It's just made out of different things. It's not super ugly, but it's not beautiful. It's just you neutralize your body a little bit, and this again, all of these practices starts from yourself. When you see your own body this way, kind of neutral way, you see other bodies are the same way. My body is quite neutral, therefore you neutralize the other people's bodies. And it's sort of like, and if you really like overemphasize your bodies, like you make it beautifying it a lot, and all those things. You look at yourself, you're with yourself in this kind of very exciting way, sort of like engage with it. Well, then you start engaging with others' bodies as well. You just concentrate on the beautiful parts of it. It's not, you're going into the other direction. It's not neutral anymore. So try to neutralize your body a little bit. And then the nice thing about this also, it's not just that it's not so exciting, but when something happens to your body, when we get older, when we starting to lose those beautiful parts, it doesn't worry us so much. It's just a body. Yep, the body of mine doesn't work anymore, but I'm not so attached to that. So you are already sort of getting ready for those times when the body doesn't look or function the way you think it should be functioning or looking. So the element, we talked about the element meditation, or you can just look at how the body is made out of different elements. But again, this is what, in the time of the Buddha, how they looked the world. The whole world was made out of these four elements. But so you could look that there is water, and there's heat on the air. There's air in the body, and it neutralizes the body. Very nice. I'm breathing in oxygen. It goes into my lungs, get absorbed through the tissue, goes into the body, goes around, and breathing out when it's been used in my body. You can see how it's like neutral object, that would be. It's just oxygen. Where it doesn't belong to me. Like I don't need to get excited about it. You just sort of, again, it's part of neutralizing the body. The 9 charnel ground contemplations, I'm not sure why Ajahn Brahm has kept it here, but maybe because he teaches this to the young monks as well. So these are the good things to keep in there. Perhaps when teaching lay people, we don't teach the charnel ground contemplations, which is the Buddha was teaching. But again, this goes into that you just sort of like, you are aware that you are not beyond that. You will be just dust, bones, and then it will happen to you as well. So don't get too excited about your body. Okay, well, it says that, or else mindfulness that it is just a body. This is impermanent, this is suffering. It's not me. This is the body, it's not mine. It's not a permanent essence. It's established you in an extent necessary for mindfulness or wisdom. essential for liberation, and you buy independent, not clinging to anything in the world. This is another way you are mindful of the body. Again, the part of this contemplation is just sort of like when you go and meditate, you just sort of, you don't engage with the body too long. Try to, when you're meditating, when you're sitting down, try to drop the body as fast as you can. Don't engage with it. You keep going back to it, like I was like you're scratching, you're moving, you engage with the body. Try not to engage with the body. It's just your will coming into play. Like, I need to scratch. You are actually engaging with the body. To a point. Let's see what comes next. Oh, what are the benefits of the mindfulness of the body? When you are mindful of the body, repeatedly practice and develop these 10 benefits may be expected. So this, when you meditate, you're doing breath meditation, you sit down or you're doing walking meditation. You overcome delight and discontent. You don't let go overly. Delight and discontentment doesn't destroy the happiness and sorrows of the world. Doesn't affect you, first of all, so much, but you can overcome them completely. You overcome fear and dread. So question was here earlier about, I'm afraid, what should you do? Meditate. You overcome the fear. Maybe is it when you need to talk to somebody and there's like a lot of, you're afraid of that person and there's a fear about talking to them. Well, if you can, try to have mindfulness of the breathing, you do mindfulness of the walking and whatever, this kind of mindfulness practices, you are mindful that their bodies are the same. You think about this person as just bones. You're talking to bones. You're talking to a person with it's like a bag of groceries, which is just hold up by this, the skeleton there, and it's hold up by the skin. And there's like, hang on, what am I afraid of again? There's just bag of groceries I'm talking to. You bear cold and heat, hunger and thirst, and contact with flies, mosquitoes, ticks, wind and sun, the creeping things. You endure unwelcome words and arisen bodily feelings that are painful and menacing to life. So even if you think there's like not much happening now, everything is fine in my life, what's the point of practicing meditation? Well, the painful and menacing things to life are going to come in some point. But so you need to practice before, right? Don't just postpone, I'm fine, and then these things come. You don't really, you cannot really endure the arisen feelings that are painful and menacing to life. Because they will come. They will come. I'm scaring you back to meditating. Actually, that is actually being said that it's not you shouldn't be doing that. It's not a good thing to do. But so, you experience whenever needed, without difficulty, the 4 jhanas that constitute the higher mind and provide pleasant abiding in this very life. So with the breath meditation, you get there without difficulty, the 4 jhanas. And that's the only pleasant abiding, the Buddha says, in this very life, where you can really, without sort of, like the Buddha said, even at the end of his life, when he was really suffering, he said the only really place for him is to pleasantly abide, certain jhana states. But to get there is the breath meditation will take you there, and whenever needed is just sort of the same way. In order for you to have insights, that's when it's needed. So for anybody, it's needed all the time, most people. Even for the Buddha, sometimes the Buddha went for retreats, right? Why did Buddha go for retreats? Why did he say, I just stay by myself a couple of weeks? I think he needed these things in order to clarify his mind. Okay, this is what's happening. This is how I need to teach monks. So he went to the retreat, engaged with jhanas. Because he had them without difficulty, right? You would think. But he had it to clarify, like, there's going to be later generations coming, not just these monks. He needed to clarify his mind, like really to have insights. And these are really how you get to the insights. But I mean, they were short, they're still pleasant, but really to have, but so even for the Buddha, he needed those stages. You wield various kinds of supernatural power. Having been one, you become many. Having been many, you become one. You appear and vanish. You go through unhindered, through walls, through the mountains as through space. You dive in and out of the earth as it were water. And you walk on water without sinking as though it were earth. Seated cross-legged, you travel in space like a bird. You wield bodily mastery even as far as the Brahma world. That sounds nice. Noise, yes. See, it's not just the other traditions that they made their teachers to walk on water. It's not just the Buddha walked on water. You can walk on water. Very handy if you need to walk past over the water. These things happens naturally, but not even all the great monks at the time of the Buddha mastered these or really developed these days. So there seems to be that some monks had the ability to have these are called psychic powers, right? Sometimes translated as a supernal power here. But that some of them had certain kind of powers and some didn't develop these. And the Buddha never recommended these, but this is almost like these are just what happens. So, but perhaps it's hard to have you're going to have this walking on water, but even when you start getting into deeper meditations, you start seeing sort of like other people's behavior differently perhaps. There's almost like it's like, I know there's something wrong with them. You get more and more, your mind is more clear. That is just, it's perhaps not mentioned here as a superpower, but supernormal power, but it's like you start getting into this kind of more in tuned in different things, and where things can happen in a sense that you can develop these. So when you practice, these are natural things. Seated cross-legged, you travel in space like a bird. You start levitating. When you start doing these levitations, make sure you tell us, and we can pull you down. Otherwise, who knows what happens? There's a cool story in one of the Thai monks. He started to get this levitation started to happen to him. And he said he wasn't believing himself. So one point he said he put something on top of his kuti where he wouldn't reach otherwise. And he seated where he was seating. And he's like, he got up and he opened his eyes and he took it just so he do know. The problem is he didn't know how to land yet. So make sure you have the landing skills as well. So what happened, he opened his eyes and it was like, oh, exciting, bam! He came crashing down and his bum was really hurt apparently for quite a while. So make sure you have the landing skills as well. You know how to levitate, but you come down very nicely as well. And these things have been interesting things, like if you look at the you read about different religions and all throughout the history, it seems to be that in many traditions, this doesn't just belong to Buddhists. It's not like these are just, again, natural causes. So when you could think about meditation is like you have a practice where you sort of give yourself into something. We don't practice of, surrendering ourselves for the God. But it is the same kind of thing where you go beyond yourself. So you surrender. You surrender to the God. You surrender, and then that's what happens. You get into these kind of stages and you disappear, so to speak, or the disappearance happens. And then these things happen. Again, they're just natural things, what happens. So there's many times that's like recorded incidences in other religions as well, where they talk about these very similar things. And I feel it's not coincidence that they have been recorded incidences of these. So, and obviously these are saints from other traditions. So, but they were just people. But they practiced these kind of things where they just had these devotional practices. They went beyond themselves, so to speak. So another one would be a clear audience, the divine ear. You hear sounds both heavenly and human that are far as well as near. You can read the minds of other persons, having encompassed them with your own mind, especially with their mind, whether their mind is affected by one of the 5 hindrances or whether it is experiencing ajhana. So there's few places there in the sutras, for example, and I find the interesting one was that, for example, when Buddha was passing away, Buddha himself, a monk could look where he was in his jhanas, right? He could just, with his own mind, he would see that, oh, the Buddha is experiencing these jhanas, and then, so he hasn't passed away yet. They didn't know whether if you look at it like, okay, they're still, and they're not breathing, therefore you would think, oh, the Buddha is dead. But then some of the monks could say, like, no, he's in that jhana. But really to know, for example, this one, when you can see that if somebody has anger, for example, if your mind is clear, then you can really know whether their mind is experiencing certain things. And it comes from all this, your own experience. You know, it's almost like you not just read their bodily language, but then sort of like there's this kind of knowing arises in your mind. So again, these come naturally, but it's just you have this awareness. It's not like you're looking. The mind reading is difficult in a sense that if you look at your own mind, you just sort of like, well, what is my mind? It's like when somebody would read your mind, you'd be like trying to look at TV and somebody's changing the channel all the time. What are they reading? That kind of like flickering of channels all the time. It's like bam, 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 bam. You can't read that. No, they're reading this kind of tone of the mind. It's sort of like, is their mind clear? What's in there? Like hindrances, for example. They say like, oh, there's anger, this kind of thing. It's not like they're reading your mind, but they're seeing your thoughts in a sense that it's almost like it would come to them as a, oh, there is certain amount of anger in there. It's like and you can develop that yourself. Try to read your mind. Try to be interested with your mind. Is your mind elevated or not elevated? Do you have anger or don't? You have loving kindness. You, as a mindfulness practitioner, this is what we're doing. We're trying to be interested of our mind. What is my big hindrance? How can I work with it? Is it doubt? I have a lot of doubt about myself. I can't do this. I'm no good. You're dwelling on that practice all the time. Is that what you're in your mind all the time? Do you have a lot of lust in your mind? You're all the time thinking about uncles, aunties. Are you thinking about uncles all the time? Probably not. Uncles are thinking about aunties, but aunties are not thinking about uncles. Just trying to keep people awake. Are you, what would be another hindrance? Like if, sleepiness is another. Sleepiness is like, yes, thank you for translating as a sleepiness. Sleepiness, sloth and torpor, weird words. Sleepiness is a hindrance where it's one of the last hindrances to remain in your practice. You don't really. And even the experienced meditators, as we know from the sutras, that then, was it Mahakassapa? Sariputta? Mahakassapa? Mahamoggallana. They said, look, I'm tired at night time, what should I do? And the Buddha said, look at the stars, go outside, go for a walk, pull your ears. Very practical examples. Pull your ears to keep you awake. Is it working? No, have a cup of coffee. Sleepiness is one of the last hindrances to remain in people. So don't see it as like dangerous, and it's like, well, it's happening, I'm just sleepy, and just so don't get angry about it. Don't engage too much with it, and then you fall asleep. Try to stay with that. Try to stay meditating. You fell asleep. You come out of the sleepiness, because that's what happens naturally. Sometimes you go down and then you come up. Try to just sort of like, just remain seated, because now you are awake. Because sometimes the tendency is, at least for me, you go down, you wake up, and then I just get up. So I'm trying to like more and more have this kind of like, fell asleep, woke up, I just continue sleeping, because continue sleeping. I continue sitting because then I am awake now. So the sleepiness subsided. I came out of that slump. What's wrong with it? Nothing. I'll just continue sitting. So if you need to stretch a little bit, stretch a little bit, but then you know at least that that is over. So sleepiness, yes, is one of the last hindrances it is the last hindrances to go away. It's not such a strong which pulls you back into the world of five senses. What else do you have? Where did we go? Okay, so there's a lot of these things what can happen naturally with you can have a divine eye. You see passing away and reappearing, inferior and superior, fair and ugly, fortunate and unfortunate. How do I get rid of these things? It doesn't matter. And one who understands how beings are reborn according to their actions, kamma. So these are again, you start getting into close to being, or after jhanas, basically, this is what happens. You just see there's like, my kamma is working this way, and you start breaking through, getting out of the samsara, because you start seeing how the kamma works. And by that, you understand, again, no self comes very automatically from that realization. By realizing for yourself with direct experience in this life, you enter upon and abide in the deliverance of mind and deliverance by wisdom. You are an awakened one. Okay, so again, nice thing is, breath meditation takes you all the way here. All the way that's like here, and you don't have to do anything. What should you do? Nothing. Very frustrating. You talk to Ajahn Brahm, I'm meditating, what should I do? Nothing. No, tell me something. I need to do something. Don't do anything. All the work happens before meditation, right? How you live your life. What is missing in your meditation is that you haven't practiced the Eightfold Path correctly yet. Keep your sila as good as possible. As good as possible. Once in a while, try to remove yourself from the world of five senses a little bit, from this world where we're living. Don't engage too much with it. See if you can be with that object for a while. And then, again, life takes over. Continue living with kindness of the heart. Do I want to continue? Let me just... Awakening factors, by the way, are cool again. They happen very naturally. Hang on, we must come here somewhere, that the breath. Here we go. Nibbana through anapanasati, mindfulness of the breathing. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, it is great fruit and great benefit. When mindfulness of breathing is developed and cultivated, it completes the four focuses of mindfulness. When the four focuses of mindfulness are developed and cultivated, it completes 7 awakening factors. We just skipped all those things. When the 7 awakening factors are developed and cultivated, they complete true knowledge and deliverance, awakening. Mindfulness of breathing completes the 4 focuses of mindfulness. And how mindfulness of breathing develop, cultivate, complete the 4 focuses of mindfulness? Again, the same thing. When you breathe in and out, when in breath and out breath are long, you're aware that they're long. You know they're short. You learn to experience the whole breath. When you're calming the breath, you restrain. You having restrained the 5 hindrances. You're energized, fully aware of the purpose why I'm doing breath meditation. In and out breathing is recorded. And okay, here we go. And because of that, this is actually not from the sutras, but Ajahn Brahm says, therefore, in and out breathing is regarded by the Buddha as a body, in the category of bodies. That is why on that occasion meditator abides mindful of the body, having restrained the 5 hindrances, energized, fully aware on the purpose, and mindful. And when you're just observing the breath, or the breath is there, you're not doing anything, you learn to experience the joy. The joy arises when you're breathing in and out. And you learn to experience sukha, the pleasure arises when you're breathing in and out. Again, this naturally happens. When you learn to experience mental formations of piti sukha as you breathe in and out. So not even going any further than that. What happens, it's a good sign, instead of you just looking at your defilements, mind is dull, nothing happening. And then you just disappeared, and then you go, oh, yeah, I think I had good meditation. I wasn't thinking for a while. Okay. This is what the teachers always say. Oh, yes? Oh, interesting. You had a good meditation. What did it happen? Yeah, I wasn't thinking anything. Okay. How do you feel about it? Well, I don't feel much. Okay. Hang on. The Buddha said you experience joy. Do you feel joyous? No, but I wasn't thinking at all. Yes. Okay. Well, continue. I'm sure it will work out. People come to us sometimes and says, oh, yes, I think I left the PT behind. They always talk in Pali. I don't know why they talk in Pali. Yes, there was a lot of sukha. I can see it on your face. You're feeling extreme pleasure. Sukha, there was sukha. Okay, go back. Continue. It'll be fine. Look, what are the good... You come to meditation retreat and it's like the thinking stopped. Good. Maybe you fell asleep. No, I wasn't. I was complete. I was so aware. Okay, what's the happiness? No, there was not really happiness. What? Something is missing in your meditation. So, good experience is, a good meditator is that there is calmness arises, and from the calm you start getting into the joy. What happens? The breath is there, and the body starts disappearing. It's sort of like it's not completely disappeared, but you don't pay attention to it. There is an itch somewhere, but it's like distance. It's far away. You don't really feel like scratching. The itch is there, but you don't feel like you need to engage with it. The thoughts are there, but you don't feel like it's the same with that. They're like distance. They don't disturb you so much. The breath starts appearing, and there's a little bit of the thoughts are there, but the breath is there again. And then the breath then stays with you. And then you look at the breath, and there is awareness more of whether it's short or long. And you sort of, in that way, you engage with that breath. It's like you look at the breath, and there's nothing really more interesting than that in the life. A little bit there is, but then the breath takes over again. And you stay with it. And the breath starts calming down. The mind really starts calming down. It's almost maybe the better way of saying. And then from there, the breath starts appearing as beautiful. And it's your perception, how you perceive it to look like the beauty. For me, and I've heard others say, it almost feels like a silk. It's like continuous silk thing moving back and forth. You know how you feel on the skin, how it feels very smooth? It has this kind of feeling of something like moving like silk like this. And it's just a perception. That's my perception. I don't know how you perceive it. But you perceive it as like really, really refined. It's kind of really, I don't know, a silky. It appears as like really refined breath. And that breath starts to get more and more refined, and then because there's happiness in the mind, because the thinking, discursiveness has disappeared. It's not disappeared completely from your mind, but you don't engage with it. The defilements of the mind, we call them defilements because something is dirty, and then the dirt has disappeared. There is no doubt in your mind. There is no tiredness in the mind. You're fully aware, like you are awake. And then from that, because the defilements, there's no dirt in that awareness. You're just looking at that movement, and the movement is quite continuous. And from there, it starts, you refine it more and more. It starts to appear more and more beautiful. And then because the breath gets really fine, the breath tends to disappear after a while. You cannot engage with that kind of refined breath. The breath disappears, and what you experience is the piti and the sukha, and then the mental formation of piti sukha when you're breathing out. The breath is disappearing here, and then you calm that you don't calm it. That calming goes further and further away, but it's not like you're doing anything. It's just really exciting thing to watch. You don't want to do anything except that you feel that kind of pleasure associated with the breath meditation. And then you go into that third one where you learn to experience the citta. Basically now when the breath starts disappearing, more and more you are just with the mind. The breath slowly disappears, and then there is this kind of moment of almost nothing happening. But then what remains from there, the movement has happened, so to speak. I can't see that you think it as breath anymore. It's really movement what's happening there anymore, but it's beautiful movement. It's really just piti, sukha, and then it's like all that. And what remains from that beauty, beautiful movement, it is just the beauty remaining. So you go into this kind of dark place, but it's not dullness. It is just beauty remaining. And you just experience you just look at the beauty, and then the mind starts opening up. Then that is only time you're really experiencing your mind. Mind is not defiled. There's no dirt on the mind anymore. There's no doubt. There's no tiredness. You just experience the mind. And that's what we call the nimitta. It's a sign that your mind is refined. To get to that point is already really good. Even to get to the point where you start seeing the breath appearing. Like even for me, they talk about this breath meditation. They talk about breath meditation. I'm sure I'm doing it. I'm sure I'm doing it. I'm just with the breath. I'm looking at the breath. It's long, it's short. I'm like, it's like an animal in what do you call it? It's like animal, the drummer in the in the Muppet show. I'm like a Muppet. It's like I'm looking at the breath. I'm looking at the breath. I'm looking at the breath. But for me, it was even that like I'm not a Muppet anymore. That like the breath appeared first time I saw the breath in and out. I was like, what? This is what they've been talking about. I was and it's just almost like one breath. I'm fully aware. You see the breath from in and out, and there was nothing between. And I'm really careful about pronouncing breath, because one time I said it quickly, and somebody said, "Did you say breast?" Breath. First time I saw the breath. Trying to keep everybody awake. It was right there, the breath. So first time I saw the breath, and it was just sort of, this is what they've been teaching, and this is now finally I saw it. Just to get to that point, it's exciting. It's not like, yeah, thinking disappeared. How do you feel? Oh, you're nothing really. You're a Muppet yourself. Don't be a Muppet. The breath, when you start with the breath stays there, it is really interesting. Just keep playing with it, toying with it. See how your mind works. Don't fight with your defilements. Just see that these are the things which define my mind, that I cannot engage with the breath. The breath doesn't appear. They're very beautiful. Just allow them just to fade away. Don't engage with them. Don't put up a fight. And eventually the breath has to appear. You have to put in the time. You have to have a good enough sila, and you just put in the effort. What should you do? Nothing. Just don't worry about it. Sit down. Sit down. Live your life as a good person. That's good enough. That's what the Buddha was trying to teach us. And then you start experiencing mind. And this is not even the 8th path or the Eightfold Path. We are now in the 7th part, which is ending of this workshop now. If you get this far, I'm glad. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, any more questions, comments, complaints? Is it? I thought it was Ajahn Brahms. Way of. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have a rookie question
Okay.
about sometimes I do achieve that real clarity, like silky breath, like just focus where everything goes away.
Yeah.
But still there's a tiny subconscious thing which is saying, oh wow, this is really great, like I'm doing it, I think this is meditation. It still is like focusing, and I'm wondering that is that just part of it, that the mind is always watching itself, or should that disappear too?
You sort of phrased it really wrongly.
Okay.
As if there's a subject-object, like we only have subject-object, mind cannot look the mind. It's like as if you have two minds. You kind of, in that sense, you used it, the wording is wrong.
Okay.
It's not like there's two people inside of you. What happens is just sort of you engaging with the mind objects. That's what's happening. It's sort of like it's just like, sure, it happens. You're just starting to see that this is how the mind works now. That then once in a while you go into the thinking and you go back to the breath and you go back to the thinking a little bit, and it's exciting, and then the excitement fades away. It doesn't pull you in yet. It's just what can you do? Don't do anything really, but it's just it's a sign that there's like you haven't been long enough with the breath. That excitement, don't get carried away with that excitement. Just it's nice to see, but eventually that's I think it's a wrong kind of excitement. What the Piti Sukha is, yeah. Excitement has the problem is it can also pull you out of the meditation. Yes, next question.
Ajahn, I heard this story from Sri Lanka a few days ago. This may not be relevant to what you just talked about, but this remote village, very remote village, only about 200 people, and there had been a monk who was living at the bottom of the small hill in a cave, and when the flood started, the people of the village came and told...
Oh, the recent floods.
Yes, the recent floods.
Yeah.
Came and told him to come away from the
cave,
but he just smiled and said, no, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then when the floods came, the hill came down and the cave was totally buried with the monk. And so they had been watching, they had been trying to rescue him. And then they had said they saw a bright light go up to the sky. And they have still not found the monk's body. So I really don't know whether it's it's a story that's...
No, it's a nice story. And perhaps there was something to that. The monk disappeared in that sense, in that kind of... Like there's stories in the sutras where there's a rainbow bodies, monks exhibit rainbow bodies and they can disappear that way. But maybe the monk left, or the mind left there was the body, and the body was just gone with that landslide. But interesting story, yes. Good.
Ajahn Mudito, thanks so very much for your teachings,
Yeah.
the 4 sessions, I hear so much, of your explanation
Yeah.
of awakening, your way, through anapanasati, jhanas, that's your way, okay, and I'm trying to understanding your way, and also my way of practice, trying to link. That's
right.
that's just a little. But first, before I start, I just want to ask you this question. That I go on to Before the Buddha passed away, the disciples asked him, Venerable Sir, actually, what is your teaching about? And the answer from the Buddha was, my teaching is about suffering and the ending of suffering. All right, So suffering, to me, suffering is a feeling. It's a like disturbing emotion, What, am I right to say that? That's for me.
It's part of it.
I strongly think.
Yeah, it's part of it, yeah.
What's the other part? What are the other parts?
Well, I mean,
opposite of suffering is when you're feeling peaceful, no disturbing feeling, everything, you're peaceful. Oh, that's not peaceful. Peace.
Whatever is in the world of the 5 senses, that's everything there is suffering.
Yeah, but what do you mean by suffering? Is it like it's a feeling, isn't it? Suffering. It's a disturbing feeling. You don't feel good. That's the
Disturbing
suffering.
feeling?
Yeah, it's a feeling, suffering. Am I right to say that? That I strongly believe that.
Sure. If you say dukkha, and Eddie's translation is disturbing feeling, other people
Disturbing
say
emotion.
suffering. You can equate that with the disturbing feelings. Yeah, it is.
Mainly, it's a feeling. Why you suffer? It's a feel. You have to do. What is that suffering? Is a disturbing thing? Or you don't feel
Which
good.
khanda is that then? What's aggregate? Like what part of the mind and body is that then?
It's the feeling inside you.
So when the feeling disappears, has the
When the bad feelings.
The pain has disappeared then? Is that what he's saying?
No, when the feeling disappears, it's neutral, okay? Okay, yeah. You can say that could be.
But that's a feeling as well.
No, but there's no feeling. It could be equanimity. It could be.
That's feeling still.
No, there's no feeling. No, there's no feeling. There's no feeling.
Okay, good.
Okay, we'll put that aside. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
The other thing is your way, of explaining the awakening through mainly from what I gather. Okay.
Yeah.
It's through mainly anapanasati. You said is the one-pointed, meditation. This thing leading to jhanas to get the peace. Okay.
Yep.
And then I think yesterday or what I was talking about my way. Mine, I think, could be towards vipassana, more. I also do the meditation too. Okay, mine is towards the using my mind, to analyze certain things. All right, and to is it okay? And when I have a disturbing thing, I use to analyze this thing. Use my mind. Impermanence. Okay. This is suffering because there is something going on. And you say no, you don't do that. Yours is just meditate and then you will,
Okay.
You see what I mean?
No, I do. I mean, that's more like contemplation you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to link, I think we are in the same path, but it's just...
Okay.
I don't say whether I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying to link yours to...
That's not vipassana, what are you talking about?
Vipassana is the contemplative meditation.
Sure, but it's not the way you're contemplating the body and all that. It's not vipassana.
Vipassana, whenever I do, what I mean is like your one pointedness is just breath. That's all. when I come down, I think, oh, this is the problem I have. Then I'm in my mind, all these things.
Yeah.
And then I get peace that way. Your peace way is not that, it's just keep one-pointed meditation, this thing, I mean, there are two ways towards enlightenment.
It's there.
Yeah, that's the
Eddie's way
the scriptures. But then a lot of the terribly, they say, oh no, it's only your way. There are two ways.
It's my way or highway, Eddie. No, it's it's just how you perceive. A lot of things in life is how do we perceive them. It's not like it's. This is not a technique. We're not teaching you techniques here. Forget about that, Eddie. Forget about the technique. It's about how do you live your life. If you feel good about something, and that spills into the meditation, and that the meditation just happens. That's what we're trying to do here. When you're sitting down, when you're meditating, Eddie, what should you do? Do you do contemplation?
I do.
Stop it.
Why? Because
that's not the time to do that.
Huh?
If you want to meditate, meditate. When you contemplate, you contemplate.
No, I do meditate. And I do contemplation to this thing,
Yeah.
And there are times where I do just meditation alone, without contemplation.
Yeah, okay.
So that I do the two ends to the same stick, the Buddha was saying.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to remind people that, look, most of the time we are just daydreaming, and what you think you're contemplating, it's not really deep contemplation. So try to get into the peace of mind, and then the contemplation can really work. Otherwise you're just daydreaming.
So your peace of mind is just don't think, just meditate, anapassana, one point
Don't do
meditation.
anything.
Not doing anything.
What should you do?
That's what am I right to say
Nothing.
that?
Eddie, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
At least I understand now.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries.
But I think what I'll do is I will still stick to my way.
Oh.
I will adopt your way. I will
about
understand
that.
this. Yeah. You're right in your way. You are right in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, thank you.
There is the Buddha's way and Eddie's way, Ajahn.
There's the Eddie Society. We should have. Bill.
Yeah, there's over 40 different methods of meditation. And metta meditation, for instance, is said to take you all the way as well.
Yeah.
And what about the other 40 or so?
Yeah, again, it was difficult to actually have a metta, like proper metta, until you have a really, really clean mind. It's really, the mind is really calm. It's hard to have that metta. We do the best of our abilities to have loving kindness, but whether it's actual metta meditation. Again, we have to be honest about it, but and it's all good. But let's try to get out of that thinking as if there's a method. There is no method to this. The method is to purify your mind. You live your life according to the 8 precepts, and then you sit down and things happen. Yeah. Meditation is not a method. Yes?
This is the question I wanted to ask you the other day, so it may not be the appropriate time. It is about a method, so best to ask another time?
No, ask it.
Okay. Can you say anything about kasina meditation?
Yeah, it's not mentioned many places. That I can say. Look, it's a lot of it. The later commentaries made a lot of it out of it. In the sutras, it's mentioned once or twice, very very rarely, and it could be also it's somehow seeped into the sutras that it wasn't maybe really thought about. So when you find something that appears very very rarely in the sutras, then the Buddha didn't think it's very important. So kasina meditation is that you perceive, but for example, there was a little bit of mention about that. Graveyard meditation. You could take, if you want to like look into a white object, you look at the back of a skull and you just keep looking into the whiteness of that skull, and the whiteness starts expanding and expanding, and then that turns into nimitta. So if you find that interesting, but I would think it's quite a difficult way. But I mean, I could see that it works if you just mind is it's very calm already, and then you just keep looking at object, and then from there you start getting into it. There's all kind of like Bill mentioned. There's different kinds of meditations. Like you could look at the it's just many things, but I don't know. There's not much mentioned about it. If you enjoy doing it and you get relative peace from that, like why not? But yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else before we go? Wait, it's going to be a few days, and there's going to be a New Year. There's another party here. Did you want to have a question? No. Very good, thank you. I want to thank all the volunteers. It's not just me being the talking head here. There's a lot of people who have, again, bring a lot of effort here. How many people we had in the AV team, volunteers, Lehar?
I think at least like 1 or 2 a day, so that's like, And then someone has to set up, I don't know, maybe close to 10?
Yeah, and they all very happily, did our AVs, or even people online. I'm sure you have a lot of gratefulness towards the AV team here in Buddhist Society of West Australia, all over the world. So people, thank you for, doing that. Lehar being the boss of all of this place, she tells me, gives me orders and tells me to sit down and do this and eat now and do that, and I just follow. So we have a lot of people here in the Buddhist Society. So thank you for everybody. And
so three. Okay, wait. We gotta do this properly. So Ajahn, we hope if you're in Perth next year, that we can do this again. So don't go Poland, stay here. Okay, so 3 loud sadhus thanking Ajahn Mudito for teaching us the last 4 days. So sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Very good. Thank you so much. So let's pay respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and that's the end of it. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantang Abhivadem Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatiphanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. Very good. Okay. Please come.